Jazza, it's tabletop time.
Finally, patience will be rewarded.
As many of you know, the Space Bears were actually originally my personal conversion army in 40k, which got a lot of love in content in the community. Add that to the fact that we have an awesome studio and the ability to make cool stuff here, you've been seeing some really cool Space Bears projects on the channel. And I haven't been in a lot of it, because I've been working very hard in the background to make this very special project we're about to announce.
We've been hibernating on a little secret we think is very cool.
You've seen us paint Space Bears before on this channel.
And now it's time to get miniatures of their own.
We've partnered with HeyGears Ultracraft Reflex, the perfect 3D printer for small business prototyping and producing models of this kind. That's right, in this video, we are going to explore the production of our own line of Space Bears miniatures.
It's tabletop time.
I'm Murray.
I'm Dave.
I'm Jen.
Let's do it.
Now, being a part of leading the design process with artists here in the studio on such an exciting project is so amazing, and working back and forth with Morgan to bring the Space Bears design to life, as you can see, it's incredible to watch. It was a lot of back and forth. The main points that I was anchoring to and directing Morgan in was to really create strong silhouettes and stances.
These noble warriors live on an incredibly harsh world, beset upon by massively long winters and horrible threats from beyond the stars. Clad in powered suits of armor and with massive heavy caliber weaponry, they wait out in the snow and the blizzards, hibernating sometimes for weeks at a time, keeping an eye out and protecting the towns, cities, and villages of their homeworld.
Now, Morgan actually naturally has a really robust and exaggerated style, which is kind of great because it means that I dial it back a little bit with him and we end up in this perfect point of exaggerated silhouette and strength that really embodies the Space Bears design, particularly in some of the patterning in later Marines. But with this one in particular, we created a dagger design, a chain dagger, I guess you might call it, basically directly based off of the traditional Ojibwe knives. Now, this initial design of the core Space Bear troops need to be the most versatile, both in the poses and options that you'll have there, but also in terms of their weaponry. So we're designing a close combat variant with melee weapons and pistols, and of course more of a ranged combat, heavy hitting style. Then the process moved on to working with the amazing Velrock, giving him feedback at every step of the stage and being maybe a little too nitpicky, sorry Velrock, to produce the best soldiers possible. He did a phenomenal job. I sent back lots of scribbles with lots of notes, and he just delivered some incredible models.
For those familiar with other war games, these are scaled a little bit larger than some familiar war games, just a smidge. They actually come quite in line with mini wargamer Dave's Armies of the Veil Touched. And Dave, if you ever see this, it'd be really cool to have a game sometime. Space Bears vs. Veil Touched. But now that Valrock has sent us these models through, it's time to take you through the next steps.
No, stop. No.
I want to do the peelies.
Okay, get into it. So today we've been printing on HeyGears' new printer, the Ultracraft Reflex. It is not just a single printer, but a one-stop production platform, including a wash machine and cure station as well. It has been designed with businesses in mind, offering commercial-grade quality of prints and customer service. From HeyGears' pre-processing software Blueprint, which allows you to slice and support your models, digitally sending them direct to the printer, through to post-production with that wash and cure station. This printer boasts a temperature and humidity sensor, resin level auto feed and detector, with auto zeroing and intelligent auto leveling on the print bed. What this means for the user is a lot less time spent fiddling with settings, manually adjusting things, resetting them, and handling dirty resin parts. With multiple resins, including transparent and the CMYK mixable color resins, so that your products are exactly the color you'd love them to be. One thing I've noticed is my prints come out as close to the digital render as possible, meaning any interlocking parts go together seamlessly, which is especially useful on larger multi-part models such as my Sakura mech I did in a previous video. It is ideal and designed for small businesses who want a professional approach to their printing at an accessible price, producing products such as 3D prints for their customers, doing entire print runs, or if they're like us, prototyping and developing their own line of models, parts, or miniatures. If you'd like to find out more about HeyGears' Ultracraft Reflex, links are in the description. Thank you to HeyGears for sponsoring the video and providing the machine that is allowing us to make Space Bears a reality for all of you. This is pretty exciting. It's actually the first time ever that Jazz's vision of Space Bears as his own product, his own distinct creation, is ever being printed en masse. I've got every single part on this print bed for the basic infantry. That's the first thing that have been made. It's really important to test every single thing that's been designed. So I've laid out every part, arm, weapon, and torso on this print bed, and we're going to press start on the first ever print. I don't know why this tickles me so much. What is this? Back scratcher! This is the Ultracraft wash station, or as I like to call it, the wiggle machine. It is not only excellent at cleaning your models, but it's also very entertaining to watch. And to demonstrate, wobble. Cleaning tubs. That looks like success to me so far. Let's take it off. We can actually drain a bit of the excess resin. You can slide it back in on an angle and it will all drip down and feed off into the bed. So we'll leave that for a couple of minutes to drain off the extra resin. Then we'll clean up our models and take a good look at them. I do not see a single imperfection, but the best way to tell is to clean these up. Jiggle mode! It's had a good bath. I'm gonna take the models off and put them back in. Something I really like about this HeyGears print bed is it's got these holes in it, and it allows you to find where a hole overlaps with a support, and then you can just kind of pop them off. It's really easy. All right, the print has just finished washing. So it's time for me to transfer it across, open the valve, and wait for it to empty. So I prepared a bowl of nice hot water. I'm gonna take this into Tabletop Time, pull off some supports, and show you what the models look like printed. With the models washed up and cleaned, the last step we need to do is a post-processing clean. You have to do this on all 3D prints where we make sure they're fully cured. To do this, we use a cure station, and HeyGears have actually sent us one as well. Nice reflective surfaces all around to ensure that UV light is bounced onto every angle of the model, gives it the best possible cure. This is good to go, so I can grab the models and give them a good cure.
So for a second opinion, I handed the models over to Murray to assemble and get his thoughts on the new Space Bears.
Well, the first thing that's immediately apparent is the quality of the prints themselves. Usually when you do a 3D print, you can see basically more or less all the layers as it goes through and prints every layer. There's basically no visible layers until you get to the very last layers that were printed at the very top, and even then those are fairly gentle. This quality is really nice. I really approve of that. Especially when we're painting on camera, we get the real close-ups and you can sort of see the lines and people say, oh, you can see the lines. So this will look really good on camera. So there's a personal and a professional review right there.
This is a passion project turned into something I can share with so many people, and it's the first thing we've made. We've made quite a lot more. Let's move on to the next one. Those were the core troops, the bread and butter of the Space Bears. But we wanted to then move on to more specialized squads and character types, starting with this walking tank variant of a foot soldier, a Kodiak bear, if you will. This needs to be a soldier that clearly embodies the looming, foreboding presence of a predator that you know if they're going to attack you, you're in trouble. Again, the main focus here was silhouette and intensity of pose and stature and proportions, but walking the line of being not too silly. I was pushing so hard to intense though. I don't know if we went too far, but man, this is just a chonk of a beast of a bear. I absolutely love the design, and I love even more how Velrock took these final sketches and brought them to life.
Originally, Morgan had just done a little mock-up of the gun. This was something that kind of slipped through the cracks with the concept art, and when we sent it off to Velrock, he took the design and created it as it was given to him. A really good lesson in doing concept art and commissioning artists. They will do a really good job of realizing what you send them, whether it's the intended final outcome or not. So we actually have these amazing work in progress sawn-off shotgun bear monsters, and I kind of love it. The original intent was some double-barreled assault rifles like the basic infantry have done, so Velrock also whipped those weapons up and he sent them over so that we could print them. Taking the prints back into Blueprint, it was super easy for me to set up another print. A great thing with this HeyGears software is its wireless connectivity, and the ability for me to just simply send this direct to the printer and also click play is for this to slice anywhere online and then for me to just send this direct to the printer. So it was a simple matter to take all our supported files, set them up, and start a print. Let's go down and do it.
Good, excellent work.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Very good, sir.
If you want to see more Space Bears, go check them out on Tabletop
Bloody
Time.
camaraderie.
Tabletop
Camaraderie
Time.
right here.
Tabletop time.
With Tabletop Tim. Time to see if these big Kodiaks printed, and okay, it's looking good. It's looking good. I can immediately whip this out and have a look. Straight away, I can see 0 failed prints. So I'm going to take these off and we'll give them a spin in that wash station and see how they turned out. Now you see how the 2-bucket system with the washing kind of works with HeyGears. We'd already done our first print and filtered that through, and now our second print, we just use the bottom bucket.
Jiggle time.
Drain top into bottom, easy peasy.
Oh my god, and then your models are just in the top case.
You like that?
Yeah.
So one of the things I actually like about this resin draining system is it keeps your hands away from isopropyl alcohol that's contaminated with resin as much as possible. There are other solutions to this I've seen, such as baskets, but they always end up with this horrible filmy residue of gunky resin over time. And they're liable to let little small pieces fall through and get stuck in the spinning mechanism that rotates the ISO. So I do appreciate this method. I actually like it quite a lot, as long as you remember to close the valve before you take it off.
Now we've had Murray's opinion, I'd love to see Jen's. So I got Jenn to tackle the Kodiaks, cleaning up all those prints and putting them in the HeyGears cure machine, giving them a nice spin, making sure all that post-production was done and they were ready to glue together and paint.
So I'm pretty impressed with the quality that's come out of the HeyGears printer. I can see all of the little details that have been added, including the fur, which looks exceptionally good, and there haven't been any print errors or even a lot of lines as well. So I'm actually super happy with the quality that this has come out as.
Now, as we've already been able to show with the Makwa Marines and the Kodiak Bears that we've done, making really comprehensive and substantial, exciting models, it's only the beginning. They're the ones that we've fully finished and had professionally supported, and now it's time to move on to something that we've all been dreaming and waiting for. The Cavalry. That's right, we have actual bears with the Space Bears. Bear-mounted Space Bear. Oh my god, I am so excited about this. And this time, Alicia has been our artist carrying us through that design process, the back and forth, and creating these incredible poses. 2 poses to be precise, one marching forward into battle and the other reared up and striking with ferocity. And once again, handing over that process and working hand in hand with the very talented Velrock to produce these stunning miniatures. It was exhilarating seeing the soldiers come to life, seeing them mounted on this very cool looking bear, which could also be separated and used and converted into other purposes as well. There's a lack of really great bear mounts out there, and we're excited to be working on something that people can be using and enjoying in their own games and armies. This whole process is just incredibly exciting, and it really still is just the beginning. There's more that we can't even show you in this video, but let's see where we can take the Polar Express.
We have just hot off the press received the first pass of these, and today I wanted to use that HeyGears printer to sort of see where they were at. We're going to print them. I'm going to have to manually do the supports myself, so I touch wood they turn out okay. That means some manual support making in Blueprint, and then we can get a print running.
Okay, so I think they've printed. It's time to check out how the Polar Express Bears did, the first print of our Space Bears Cavalry. And we have our first failure. So there we go. I had a feeling this might happen.
Is a sinking bear.
So basically the other two models we had were in a stage of production where they've been professionally pre-supported. These models, however, I pre-supported, and I'm not a professional supporter. I didn't put any heavy duty supports on them. And this is a real warning to what can happen if you support your models and don't support them adequately. Because basically it has peeled out of the supports because they were not strong enough. However, the rest of it looks like it's printed. Oh, big bear. Big bear. Jen's favorite part. It's jiggling time. Oh my goodness. This bear looks so good. All right, we gotta get the supports off and see how good this really looks.
Finally, we have something that a lot of people have been waiting for, I feel. We have our own Space Bear Cavalry. And it looks pretty impressive. I really like the feel of dynamism and like movement that you have from the bear. It's really, really cool. Our artist has done an amazing job. In terms of the print, the bear is like one solid piece and it came out beautifully. Like there is nothing wrong with the print anywhere. All the hair, fur came out really nicely. It's basically flawless. Like I actually can't really find an issue with it. In terms of the model itself, all the armor panels and the shield on the back went on fairly nicely. Some purists might be wondering, you know, why doesn't he have a backpack on the back? I think that might come down to aesthetics. Maybe we'll provide one, maybe not. I don't know, it looks a bit nicer like that. He's got a nice cleaner profile there. We also have thoughts about the bear. We feel like the bear's muzzle could be a bit thinner, a bit longer, a bit more muzzly. He's very wide. He has a bit more of a Wolverine than a bear, I feel. But I think that's down to personal aesthetics. Let us know in the comments what you think about the design of the bear and all the others, of course.
I couldn't let a 3D modeling project pass without putting a little bit of my own influence into it. So just for this video, I made an exclusive back banner for this giant Kodiak. One small change I made here was I'd previously designed an emblem with the Space Bears logo and two feathers pointing up. I decided to rotate the feathers 180 degrees and have them pointing down, as I had learnt that the Ojibwe nation actually wears their feathers down rather than up in their war bonnets. And I thought on the emblem of a soldier, it would be nice to reflect this very subtly with the downward facing feathers as well. I took this model into Blueprint and super rapidly generated some auto supports and set it up to print so Murray could paint it.
Now you've seen some pretty cool stuff be developed in this video, but it really is just scratching the surface. There's more that we're still finalizing, but is just as incredible. So big stuff coming, and you can stay tuned by signing up to the Kickstarter in the description. Head on over to the page, is available now, and you can just make sure to be notified as soon as the Kickstarter for the Space Bears launches.
And as a special treat, if you sign up to the Kickstarter, regardless of whether you end up pledging or not, you will get that banner that I made for our Kodiaks completely for free. So as a little bonus, consider signing up.
And you get to see on launch day some exciting stuff happening. And it's worth keeping in mind, there's an early bird special too. So make sure to get in quick. There'll be more videos leading up to that though anyway, so don't worry about being kept out of the loop. There's more Space Bears coming to keep you informed.
Now, we are going to do a dedicated painting video for the Kickstarter when it's announced. However, we just wanted to knock one of these out, so I got to paint up one of these Space Bears, and this model is really nice and crisp in its detail and edges. It's really good to dry brush. It has some nice recesses for washes to go into. I think any painter can find a good time painting this.
Yeah, I have to stress we thought it was really important to paint a model at this stage of development because that way we know how it feels as a painter to experience it. Are there any detail changes we need to make? Are there recesses we need to accentuate, etc.? These models seem to strike a really good balance between being detailed without being overly complicated, so they're approachable for a new painter as well as an experienced one.
We'd like to give a big thank you to our patrons as we enjoy your names scrolling past all of these prototype Space Bears miniatures, and we check out that nice Kodiak bear, that big boy that Murray has painted up. We couldn't do this without you, and we're really taking a leap to do something a little bit crazy in making this miniature line. So we hope you'll join us on Patreon and follow us for the ride. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the journey of how we have been designing Jazz's Space Bears to be a fully standalone thing. Their own miniature line, if you will. If you'd like to keep up to date with the Kickstarter, make sure you follow that link I mentioned a little bit earlier. And also a massive thank you to HeyGears for sponsoring the video. Your printer is going to be running non-stop as we go through this prototyping phase of developing our minis. It's running right now. And if you're interested in seeing where this is going, we'll be doing some in-depth paint tutorials on the rest of our Space Bears as we go forward in the coming months. So make sure to subscribe and like, and we'll see you in the next one.